Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, members of staff and Senate, distinguished guests, graduates and their guests. It's an enormous honour to be standing with you here today, a day that marks the culmination of an extraordinary phase of your lives. And it's a beautiful day. The sun's shining through. You look almost angelic sitting there at the moment. And it actually made me think of my master's graduation, which was 25 years ago. And it was a 42-degree day. It was an absolute scorcher. And the Master of Ceremony, a former High Court judge, it was a very hot day, just as he was shaking hands with a student, collapsed to the floor. Can you imagine this in a graduate? Nothing will happen today with the Honourable Robert French, a man of great, formidable skills. But on that day, it was quite an extraordinary moment in our graduation. And someone shouted out, "Is there a doctor in the house?" And of course, there were PhDs everywhere, but nobody who could actually help the good High Court judge at the time. But I remember the judge's determination as he was able to recover, and he insisted on completing the ceremony all the way through, which said something for him. I remember for myself feeling helpless, not only in terms of, I'm not a doctor, but also a great unease about the great unknown that was about to come, because I did not have a clear map of what I wanted my future to be. I don't know whether you've got a clear map of what your future is going to be. And I certainly had no inkling that I would go on to work as I do now at the interface between big business and big philanthropy, nor for that matter, as the Vice-Chancellor kindly noted, playing at the Sydney Opera House. Some of you may have watched, and I thought of this as the inspiration for my short talk today. There was a recent press conference between the British Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, and the Australian Prime Minister, Scott Morrison. They were talking about the trade agreement, and with some characteristic flair, Boris Johnson said about Australia and England, "You give us Tim Tams, we give you penguins. You give us Vegemite, and we give you Marmite. We give you Burberry and Macintoshes, and you give us R.M. Williams." Now, I'm happy to say I'm wearing R.M. Williams boots today. I don't know how many of you are wearing R.M. Williams boots today or have them in your household. I imagine quite a few. But R.M. Williams is the inspiration for my speech today, because the company that I oversee bought R.M. Williams just a matter of months ago and brought it back into Australian hands for the first time in almost a decade. And I got hold of this book, and this book is a book by R.M. Williams, and I love the title. It's called One Man's Mistakes. And there's a quote in it that I want to read to you in a moment, but just remember, R.M. Williams went in his lifetime, having been born in about 1903, I think, something like that, maybe a little later, but he lived to nearly 100 and died at the beginning of this century. He went from a swagman to a millionaire. He left school at 13. He didn't get to go to UWA, imagine if he had. And he learned at 18 how to work leather from an Indigenous stockman. So he died just short of the age of 100, leaving behind a company now valued, and I know the price of it because we paid it, at almost $200 million. Isn't that incredible? And if you could capture his formidable spirit in a single quote, and I quote from page 14 of this book, this is the quote that I would like to give you today. It's this: "Life is the raw material that each of us shape according to our dream." Life is the raw material that each of us shape according to our dream. And today I'd like to give you 3 pieces of advice inspired by Reginald Murray Williams. The first piece of advice is about dreams. Now, I work for the Forrest family, and Andrew Forrest's favourite song is "Runnin' Down a Dream" by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I don't expect you to know about it. It hasn't been around for a while. But not everyone has dreams. When I was at that graduation ceremony on the 42-degree day, I don't think I had a dream as I collected my master's. I wanted a job, but a job is not a dream. You can have a dream job, but only if your dream is colliding with the job that you have. So I simply embraced opportunities as they came. And for R.M. Williams, what he said was what drove him was simply the urge to get up and have a go. Isn't that a great Australian thing to do? And the desire to keep learning. He described his trade as a never-ending frontier of learning. He was always aiming to make a better boot, a better whip, a better saddle. He never chose to make riches. That wasn't his focus, just to perfect what was in front of him. But by applying these principles in every pursuit, he went from being successful at simply surviving to establishing one of Australia's most successful businesses. Enough about dreams. My second piece of advice is that you're not equipped always for change. You will make mistakes. One man's mistakes. I can't wait to know about the mistakes that you will make. Because if you're not making mistakes, you're not having a go. I don't know whether there is a student here that went through your entire experience in recent years at UWA without making a mistake. Did you reach perfection in everything that you did? Well, in life, of course, life is about making mistakes and learning from them. So be prepared that you will make mistakes. You may be perfectionists, but you will make mistakes. The point is what you do about them. And as I sat in my own graduation ceremony, I had no idea that I would be able to have a go in all the things I've been able to do, that I would move to Kenya when I was 26, that I would get involved in rehabilitating game parks from Uganda to South Africa. I had no idea I would play cricket for Kenya, while my friends back in Australia were sitting around having dinner parties and listening to elevator music by a guy called Kenny G, who I don't expect you to have heard of either. I embraced adventure and I embraced change, and I made lots and lots and lots of mistakes, and I keep doing so, and I do my best to learn from them every day. My last piece of advice is about shaping, because that's in the quote. It's about shaping your life and the world around you. You are here in this graduation hall today, and it's all beginning for this next chapter for you, but you're not helpless because you can shape how your life turns out, and also you've got a group of people here and here that have been very much involved in shaping you to date. You get to shape your dreams. You get to learn from people. Hopefully you can learn from other people's mistakes before you get to make some of your own. So take yourself out of your comfort zone, make new friends, new conversations, evaluate your actions, understand your weaknesses and your strengths, and brick by brick, day by day, as you build your future, use that wisdom to shape yourself and the person you want to be. And put values at the core of everything you do: integrity, determination, family, respect, generating ideas. And you will, at the same time, shape a world that is better and kinder. Don't necessarily set out to change the world, just find a problem you care about, and many of you have, and you're studying in that particular field like nobody else can. And the world will then change with you, whatever it is. Climate change, the economics of hydrogen transport is something we're looking at very much at the moment, eradicating cancer. Every day I meet young people who are equipped with the building blocks to take on these enormous challenges, and I pay enormous respect to UWA for all the work it's done in helping equip you for this next step. And in all of this, take in the love and wisdom of those around you, those who help you shape your life. It might be parents who have sacrificed to have you have this incredible education you've enjoyed. It might be the friends you're making along the way. It might be the professors who you may not have seen the last of. It's enormously exciting to know that the solutions to many of the world's problems lie right here in front of me, in your minds, in this hall, on this sunny day, and to know that you all have the power to shape your futures if you choose to. So may I end by repeating the quote from Reginald Murray Williams: "Life is the raw material that each of us shape according to our dream." We can't wait to see all that you will become. Thank you.